Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? This is a really good time to be a boxing fan. And I really mean that, man. These are the type of fights that I live for. The undefeated prospect / contender, Keith one-time Thurman, going against the already proven Robert the Ghost Guerrero on free TV, NBC. Okay? It gets no better than that. First of all, let me just say this. Do you know, and I'm sure a lot of you guys feel my pain when I say this, but do you know the only reason I pay for HBO and Showtime is just for the boxing? I mean, literally, I don't watch anything on HBO and Showtime except for the movies. Now, I did used to watch Dexter. That was a pretty good damn show. But outside of that, I probably watch maybe 5% of the actual shows that come on, or series that come on these channels, right? So shouts out to Al Haymon for being able to give the fans something that no other promoter or advisor has been able to give the fans, at least in this generation, in this era of our sport, right? I remember when I interviewed Gennady Golovkin's trainer, Abel Sanchez, he was pretty critical of Al Haymon. He was like, man, he's signing all the fighters. He's signing all the fighters. My question is, when you have that many fighters, how can you possibly get dates and TV slots for all of those fighters? He was like, it's impossible. There's no way you're going to be able to get a fight for all of those fighters, right? And I think now he has that answer, because the answer is Al Haymon is working with damn near every single channel you can think of, okay? So once again, man, we already know Al Haymon, his stable, his fighters, no one has tried to sue him. No one has really tried to leave him. Everyone is pretty much gravitating to his stable. So there's really nothing else you could say about Al Haymon. I mean, you could try to nitpick and you could try to hate, but there's nothing you could say about Al Haymon bad that you couldn't say about Oscar De La Hoya or Bob Arum. I could guarantee you that. You accuse Al Haymon of doing anything, and I'll show you Oscar De La Hoya or Bob Arum doing the same thing, probably to the 10th power. Okay? So let's get back to the fight. Keith Thurman versus Robert the Ghost Guerrero. The most interesting thing about this fight is the fact that for the first time, Keith Thurman is stepping up against serious competition. And we know this is serious competition because at least all of the pro fighters and trainers that I've been talking to, they have this fight pretty close. I mean, some are even picking Robert Guerrero to win the fight. I'm hearing 50-50. I'm hearing some people picking Guerrero. So this is a competitive matchup. This type of fight is going to tell us a lot about Keith Thurman, a lot about Robert Guerrero, and believe it or not, it might even tell us a little bit something more, or something we already knew about the pound-for-pound king, Floyd Mayweather. Let me explain what I mean. Now, Keith Thurman, we all know, has gone from being an undefeated prospect to an undefeated contender that is the most feared, the most avoided. Floyd Mayweather detractors have, used Keith Thurman as the new opponent that Floyd Mayweather, was afraid of and was ducking, because we already knew the guy he was afraid of before was Canelo. It was Shane Mosley, and now it's Pacquiao. And then there was what's his name? It was Sean Porter. Yeah, Sean Porter, who was on that list. As soon as he lost to Kell Brook, they stopped talking about Sean Porter. Now it's Keith Thurman that they call the boogeyman, the Mayweather boogeyman, right? So he goes from being called a boogeyman to Mayweather to all of a sudden fighting against Guerrero, and everyone is saying that this is a 50-50 fight. It's a 50-50 fight. In fact, like I said before, some people believe that he may even lose this fight. All right? So once again, this fight is going to tell us a lot about all three of those fighters, I feel. Because, I mean, there's a good possibility that Keith Thurman can go in there and destroy Robert Ghost Guerrero like Sean Porter destroyed Paulie Malignaggi. Now, that wouldn't suggest that Keith Thurman is better than Floyd Mayweather, but it would be a hell of a look, and it would catapult Keith Thurman into the Mayweather sweepstakes. I truly believe that if Floyd Mayweather is still fighting, because there's a good chance that Floyd Mayweather will extend his contract, but if Keith Thurman ends up destroying someone like a Robert Ghost Guerrero, and Floyd Mayweather continues to fight, because we all know he only has 2 more fights left. He will most likely be fighting Manny Pacquiao next, and he'll probably have 1 fight left on his contract. There's no guarantee Thurman will get that last fight, but he will be in the sweepstakes, okay? So let me tell you how I think this fight is going to play out. You know, looking at the Robert Ghost Guerrero versus Kamagai fight and some other fights, your natural inclination would be Guerrero has no defense. And any fighter who has no defense, they are going to get destroyed by a power puncher like Keith one-time Thurman, right? But then there's another side of Guerrero. There's the cautious counter-punching Guerrero that we seen against Floyd Mayweather. Guerrero stepped his game up on an intelligent level because he knew that he was in there with an intelligent fighter, right? I think Guerrero's going to do the same thing in this fight. But as far as I'm concerned, it will be to no avail, because I still believe that Keith Thurman is a much better boxer, has much better foot movement. I believe he's a much better counterpuncher. He's quicker than Robert Ghost Guerrero. Not only that, but I believe he has a better defense than Guerrero. Okay? Because of that, I'm picking Keith one-time Thurman to win this fight very decisively. It could be a knockout. It could be a decision. It really depends on how defensive Guerrero is going to fight. If he fights an extremely defensive fight, you know, he may last 12 rounds. Or he may get clipped sometime around the 8th round. So, you know, I'm not really going to predict a knockout or what round Guerrero can get knocked out. Let's just say I'm picking Keith Thurman to win this fight. And he has a very good chance of getting a knockout in the later rounds. Maybe around the last quarter of the fight, or from the 8th round on. That's pretty much all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one.